Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the week we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I'm your humble host. How are you doing tonight? Good. Let's get to the news. Tonight, we try to mark off a couple news events so that you know where you were in the world ever since the temporal rift that has been COVID in the last several years, I guess. But time has no meaning. Time is a flat circle. Today, Russia is still invading Ukraine. I think we're at day 34 or something like that. There was a mass shooting in Sacramento. That's insane. Hungary elected Viktor Orban, and Serbia elected Vučić, both pro-Putin leaders, so that's fun. Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation vote is making history. And today, Elon Musk bought 9% of Twitter, which is very frightening for free speech, but still there. Salon had the best headline this week with January 6th committee calls on Merrick Garland to act to do your job so we can do ours. I think actually, you know what, who put it better would be Vanity Fair. Theirs was January 6th panel politely requests that Merrick Garland do his fucking job. So absolutely. Judge held Alex Jones in contempt of court for refusing to appear for the Sandy Hook depositions. They really want to make him testify to all his BS under oath, and that's pretty cool. In these times, reports that the real scandal at the Oscars was when celebrities crossed a picket line. So let us not forget that workers and supporters picketed outside the Chateau Marmont Hotel at the Oscars night. But following it, Jay-Z hosted a party at Chateau Marmont Hotel and had his guests cross the picket line, which reminds me that a lot of billionaires are in the news talking about wages and talking about unions. And Elon Musk said that he's curious to see if the UAW can take over Tesla. And a lot of people are still saying that nobody wants to work. So I'd like to remind them that, you know, the last time they measured it, wage theft, a $50 billion crime against workers, that goes on every year. Bosses stealing money. And it's, 10 times all the other robbery in the country added together. But, you know, maybe nobody wants to work. I'm not sure. That's my ridiculous take on the news from Facebook for the Blind. And I'm handing it over to my wonderful co-host with like way funnier stuff, way funnier memes, Michael LeBune.
It's me, everybody. I'm Michael LeBune, and I'm here with the way funnier stuff. Trash Can Paul, friend of the show, has a picture of Peter Parker crying, and it says me crying because I'm worried my friends might die from laughter the next time we hang out. I should really stop being so funny. So kind of how I'm feeling this evening. Jesus memes for liberation, which if you know me, you know that every single word in that handle is correct. This Instagram page was made for me. We love you, Jesus memes for liberation. Thanks for listening. God develops ultra-realistic metaverse where people can talk, learn, and work with other people, calling it, quote, universe. We're Sims. All right. This is a little bit of a walk, but we're gonna hold hands and get through it together. So this is a post on Facebook with a bunch of replies, and the post says everyone has a birth chart. It's where every planet was in the exact location in space when you were born. Your big three are your sun, moon, rising. So where the sun and moon were when you were born, if you want to get exact with it, math is involved. Every person's chart has a little numbers, degrees. Every chart is different. It's a science. Hang on to that. It's a science. But hey, some people prefer Star Trek. And somebody comments, yes, go on. And then another person says, fun fact, it's actually not a science. The original poster claps back, fun fact, it's a pseudoscience, which is a weird flex. So they reply, I don't really know how to put it softly, that you're misunderstanding a lot of basic terms here. The original poster says Webster's does, definition of pseudoscience, a system of theories, assumptions, and methods erroneously regarded as scientific. And somebody else writes, now look up erroneously. Just Magic. I want to point out that this is like whoever took this screenshot did it 1 minute after the last one. Now look up erroneously. This is on Reddit memes page. It says, what if instead of drops, rain fell all at once? Like a 2-inch thick sheet of water that just goes flap and then it's sunny again. And Dr. Quantum, friend of the show, says, fun fact, this is what would happen if there was no air resistance. And it would actually come down so fast that it would kill us. And the original poster just says, oh. It's like, leave it to the physicists to fuck everything up. Hemlark, which is play on words with hemlock. Pretty funny there. Says, if you know Plato. All right. Says, have you ever heard of the ancient Greek hero Bophades? Which I had not, actually. He was a lot like Achilles. He had just one weakness, except instead of his heel, it was his groin. You may have heard of Achilles' heel, but have you heard of Bophades' nuts?
Oh, jeez.
Jat Singh says, this is the best joke on this godforsaken website, but too easily obsessed says, this is a sin. One dad to another dad there, game recognized game. That's a great dad joke. This is a picture of Goofy, and it just says, I'll fucking do it again. Every dad who makes a dad joke ever. This is weird. So BNO Newsroom, they report that a German man was arrested after getting vaccinated against coronavirus at least 87 times to sell proof of vaccination to anti-vaxxers.
Oh.
And they have a picture of looks like a humanoid figure at a diner table, and it's just made of complete light, just radiating light. Yeah. This meme was made in response, and it's a picture of a little girl hiding from like T-1000 or from the Terminator, and it says the little girl is labeled Corona, and the Terminator is labeled German man arrested after getting vaccinated against coronavirus at least 87 times. All right, this is my last run. This is like 4 memes, but as soon as it's over, I'll be throwing it back to you, Eric. This is a cop who's pulled over a car, and the cop says, "Yo, what do you got?" Say something, Eric.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, somebody said something, scared me. All right. Jokes are, friend of the show, has a picture of it's 2 panels. It's the cop who's got a car pulled over, and the cop says, you were driving on the wrong side of the road. And the driver says, sorry, I'm English. And the cop says, while shouting, it's the wrong side of the road you was driving down, innit? And the ugly side of Tumblr, there's like all these British people be like, and then they actually write phonetically how British people talk, which is hilarious. This is the same thing happening, except it's British people and making fun of Americans. And it says Americans see a tree rodent and go, look, a squirrel. But they spelled it SKWURL, squirrel, which is exactly how I say it.
Yep.
The fucked up thing about this is that it's so right, because they say squirrel, which is, I guess, technically correct. Americans be like, could you give me a glass of water? But it sounds normal when I say it, but they've spelled it could J, Gemi, a glass UVWADDR. Could you give me a glass of water? But again, it's just exactly my accent. Somebody says this is all literally Maryland, but go off. This is maybe my favorite. Americans be like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, MEER. Americans be like, I'm gonna go watch a horror movie. Because this is a great point. Americans do say horror and whore exactly the same when we're talking about movies. It's a horror movie. And Americans be like, I'm going to eat an orange, ORNGE, instead of orange. And finally, Trash Can Paul, bringing it home for us, has a picture of a guy sitting on the couch with his hands folded behind his head, and it says, British people, when they come home and don't have to do the accent anymore.
So dumb. Oh, lovely.
Nice to see him finally able to relax.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now into the second half of the first act that we like to somewhat speciously refer to as the wholesome material. Kind of. So I'll do my very best. It could be. It could be. My buddy Jason sent me this one. Just says, I can relate to blenders because I also scream while I'm doing my job. By the way, I probably should say this is a good point. We should have said we do love it when you turn your mics and video cameras on because we can hear you laugh, and that's great. So if that it's a good time to do it. Second off, friend of the show, Brian Tyler Cohen. Thank you so much for listening to the show, Brian Tyler Cohen. He reposts today. A reporter spent valuable time asking the White House what their response is to Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. Their response: the president was not able to watch the Oscars. Didn't see it, which I hope got
good.
I really hope got a laugh because it was just like, dude. Next up, we have a ring of monks, and they've got books in their hands. And he says, I've always wanted to be a Gregorian monk, but I never had the chance.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll fucking do it again.
I'm so happy to hear that because I texted this one to my mother who loves puns, and I still haven't heard. I was like, Mom, I texted you a meme. She goes, oh, you did? I still haven't gotten a response. I don't think she's looked at it. So thank you all. Thank you. I needed that. Next up, Mark Norris at Shakespeare 2002 posts, it was 53 seconds between Chris Rock mentioning Macbeth in a theater and getting slapped by a guy with the same initials as Shakespeare, WS, who played King Richard, who was in turn comforted by the guy who played Macbeth. Hashtag Shakespeare on a mad one last night. I concur. I hadn't seen the pattern. It was deep. It was in front of me the whole time. Well, here we go. No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, friend of the show. Brian Tyler Cohen, thanks for listening, Brian Tyler Cohen. Reminder, Clarence Thomas covered up over $685,000 that his wife Ginny received from the Right Wing Heritage Foundation. In the space on the disclosure form where he was supposed to write his spouse's income, he wrote none instead. I know. It gets funnier every time I read it. It's hilarious. Next up, yeah, and then I'm not even gonna do it. Jeffrey saying, this is terrible too. Man, I suck. Hey, my friend Jenny, friend of the show, Jenny Benevento, and my friend says, this email subject shook me to my core. I'm not happy when I receive emails with this subject. Who even am I? And the subject line is, congratulations, your crypto is earning you more crypto. And
God.
I just replied to her, bro. All right. Here we have the Pepperidge Farm cartoon, and the old man is holding up the bag of cookies, and he says, remember when an 18-minute gap in Nixon secret recordings was a big deal? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, how are we not talking? Like, what are they going to do about this? 7 hours, right? 7 hours of communications just disappeared. Look, I used to work at the White House Communications Agency. I could go off right now about like the actual implications of what's happened.
Yes.
But suffice it to say, it's not just customs that has been negated here. These aren't just customs. These are laws.
Yeah, not more is laws. But
right.
I'm kind of happy that it's shown us all how fragile the system is. I think that's one thing that, I hear people all the time and they're like, hey, America's been around for a couple hundred years. It'll keep going. And I'm just like, that's it's like those stock investment commercials that are like, past performance is no indication of future performance.
It's also a really short amount of time for an empire, right?
I know.
Like if you heard that Rome only lasted a couple hundred years, we wouldn't have heard of it.
Right.
200 years is nothing.
Yeah. By the way, too, I double checked and looked it up, and all that Roman-esque architecture that we have in DC, that's not going to be around. The Colosseum will still be around in Rome, but not the DC. We didn't build any of that stuff the same way. All right, moving on. I got about 4 more of these and we'll wrap it up and call it done. We can build a better world at Bree Newsom posts people making the sharp pivot from pro-war policing and prisons to anti-slap pacifism is really interesting to observe. And it's a knee slapper. It really was. It's so fun on the internet this week. Friend of the show, George H. Cruikshank. George, thanks for all the postcards and letters. He reposts Halbert Goth Sarah, who says, cis people, here are some ways you can better support your trans friends. 1, be shorter than your trans mask friends for men, taller than your trans femme friends for women, and then just stand around next to them. 2, give them honey. All trans people love honey. And 3, help them rob a pharmacy.
That's awesome.
All right, last 2. This is just a beautiful painting. I do not know the name of this period. Let's just call it Rococo. It's a Rococo painting of a woman. You haven't met all the people you will frighten with your trauma-driven sense of humor. No, I have not. And lastly, in Amy Sedaris, and if you're not following Amy Sedaris, you're missing out. Gregory Strickland posts, I've been right all along, and there's a picture of a horse, and it says, hung like a horse. The average horse weighs 1,000 pounds and has a 20-inch penis. That is a ratio of 50 pounds to 1 inch. So an average man weighing 200 pounds needs a 4-inch penis to be hung like a horse. Be proud, fellas.
That's winning. That's winning on a technicality. I feel like that's
Some
the
of us
letter
need
of the
that,
law,
Michael.
not the spirit of the law.
Some of us have never measured and have no idea.
Sure. The ugly side of Tumblr has Bard Starred, who says you lie down and it's like, and that's just how it is. And what Bard Starred has done there is has made with parentheses and dot, they've made it look like boobs. And it's like you lay down and the boobs are really far apart. That's how it is. And then Ryan the Demibody, who says you lie on your side and it's just like, and then it's the same thing. It's boobs again, except they're bumped up to each other and they're kind of cross-eyed. And then Freudian Dip says, what kind of eyes do y'all have?
I would like to say that you just won that meme on a technicality, Michael.
Yeah, the ugly side of Tinder, or I'm sorry, the ugly side of Tumblr, friend of the show. Ugly side of Tumblr
Oh,
has it's a picture of 2 fans, desktop fans facing each other, and someone has placed a paper airplane in between them, and it's suspended. It's not moving in either direction. And somebody wrote science, and then the next person wrote, I think my brain just exploded. And then somebody wrote science side of Tumblr, please explain. And then here's the explanation. Air on bottom go whoosh, air on top go whoosh, air in front go roosh. Little plane stay still. Stay still. Somebody says, thanks, science side of Tumblr. Here's a picture of a really cool kid dressed like me. And it says, when I was young, I was poor. And then there's a picture of an old man, kind of dressed like Eric's dad. And it says, after years of hard work, I am no longer young. Trash Can Donut, friend of Trash Can Paul, not a direct friend of the show, but we're getting there, says a woman's place is on the battlefield. And Vampire says, so you think women should die? And Dun Finto says, funny how you immediately assumed the women would lose the battle. Misogynist much? And Vampire says, you're right. I will reflect on my behavior. Sorry, women. Sorry, women. I hope they hear your apology. All the women. This is a guy with his hand slapping his face, and he says, I meet someone, it's a circle. And the next thing is we talk. And then the next thing is I explain how ska actually came before reggae. The next thing is they of course leave, and then finally I meet someone and the whole thing starts again.
Oh my
And
God,
that is
dude.
before Reagan.
I hurt
We can
myself.
talk about it after the show. I am in this meme and I don't like it. Trash Can Paul has a picture of a guy who looks like somebody named Trash Can Paul, honestly, and it says, "Yes, I would like one mug. Yes, I would like one mug root beer, please. April Fools, you fucking idiot. I would like 2 mug root beers, please." Now this is like I'm going to go through these pretty quick because for some reason Chris Pratt was trending on Twitter. Anyone who's homophobic, I highly recommend if you ever see Chris Pratt trending on Twitter, don't look at why. Anyone who's not homophobic, get ready to have a giggle. Chris Pratt is I don't know. Anyway, here's what they did to him on Twitter this week. It says Chris Pratt has officially been considered to be casted for the role of the next James Bond. Source, trust me, bro. And the fake James Bond poster. All these are going to be like this. Actor Chris Pratt to star an upcoming installment in the Saw franchise, Saw 10, as young John Kramer. It's been revealed that the voice of Darth Vader in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is none other than the voice of Mario, Chris Pratt. Source, again, trust me, bro. Chris Pratt will voice Cat Noir in the upcoming Awakening movie coming in 2050. Chris Pratt will be the voice of Caillou in the Caillou film coming out in 2024. Source deadline. This isn't Chris Pratt, but I don't know who did this or why, but they took the new Batman poster and they made it say the Batmite, and they turned it really serious. This is DC Comics posted this. I don't know. We didn't need this, whoever did it. And then my last one for this round is it just says, "Don't leave your Easter bunny in the car." And it's a chocolate Easter bunny that's been left in the sun, and its eyebrows have melted down over its eyes, and it looked like a fucking nightmare. That's it for round 2.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yay. Lovely. All right.
Back to you, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. God. All right, heading into round 2. Welcome to the show, Nan. This is a picture of a bunch of books in a bookstore that have all been situated with their spines facing the wall. So you're just looking at paper, and it is under the subject heading of mystery. And it is captioned, "Well played." Moving on, only got about 6 or 7 of these queued up here. Friend of the show, Steve Rendell. Thanks for listening, Steve. Reposts Anatoly Karlin, who says Elena Bonina, CEO, HR director with the Russia division of Yandex, resigns and leaves for Israel. Quote, "I will not return. I cannot work in a country that wages war against its neighbors." To which Steve Rendell captions it, good luck in Israel.
Wait a second.
Oh, I got a snortle. Okay, moving on. Friend of the show, Steve Hofstetter says, breaking, Lauren Boebert argued that people shouldn't be allowed to come out until they're 21, which is 4 years older than the age where her husband can show them his dick in a bowling alley.
People don't forget Lauren.
Whoa, God. Oh, Lauren. Oh, dude. She would be such a funny character on television. Do you know what I mean? Like,
dude, all these Republicans would be funny if they were just villains in a cartoon.
Oh,
it's the fact that we have to deal with them in real life is what's fucked.
Yeah, unrealistic, but yeah. Oh, this one's just funny for the headline. Garland says he won't rush January 6th investigation.
No fucking shit.
In April of 2022, the January 6th, 2021 investigation will not be rushed. No shit, Sherlock. Sorry. Okay. Woo! All right, moving on. Friend of the show, George Cruikshank. George, do send us your email again. We seem to have lost touch. Repost, very nice meme. Thanks. Ellen Weatherford says, I still say octopi because I'm waiting for someone to say, actually, the word is octopus is derived from Greek, not Latin. So the correct plural form is octopodes. And then I can get to say octopodes nuts.
Hey, that's 2 D's nuts jokes this show. Well done, D. Making a comeback.
Hey,
middle school?
2 years ago, myself, Eric Sizemore, I said, hey, if you talk to a politician, mention you have a friend with a GoFundMe campaign for his guillotine fleet rental startup. I could really use a small business stimulus check. I will be hammering all of you for funds because this is serious. A huge fan of guillotines. Oh, that's nothing. Sidney Davis Jr., friend of the show, this is my last post for this segment, said, me, I did not survive Chicago public schools, so some idiot could blatantly disrespect me like this. And then Siri says, I'm sorry, do not understand. Me under my breath, idiot. You know what? I do have one last thing I want to share, man. I made that really stupid video today, and I want to show it again because I'm kind of happy with it. Is that all right? Yeah, it's totally all right. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we head into our most
Can't see it, Eric.
Oh.
It's okay, it's a podcast.
Facebook for the blind.
I want to. When I got to this company, it was failing, flatlining, and spiraling. And now I am proud to say we are plateauing. Wow. Oh, go ahead, you can clap. Okay. We don't pretend to be better than who we are. And what are we?
Mediocre.
That's right, mediocre. I want everyone at
Facebook for the blind. Yeah.
Everything about that video is so bad. My favorite is that you left the music on behind your voice. So when you say Facebook for the blind, it's going boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to imagine that music is coming from? All right.
Nothing really matters. It's
I
punk rock.
I heard.
It's punk rock, and I kicked it out the door.
It's out the door. All right. All right, here we go. Round 3. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Woo.
Jared C. Wilson, friend of the show, Jared Wilson, has a picture of a doctor who's pushing medicine out of a syringe, and it says, I like how when a doctor pulls some medicine into a syringe, they squirt a little out for their fallen homie. News came out this week that we eat the equivalent of a credit card in plastic each, I don't know, month or year or something from microplastics. Ooh. This is a picture of Kirby, and it says, I'm so full from microplastics, yum. That's Trash Can Paul, friend of the show, Trash Can Paul, has a picture of a triangle in the 2 panels in the first panel, and it says, you're pointless. And then we see that it's talking to a circle who's smiling, and the circle says, there's 20 pounds of C4 strapped to my chest.
Oh, God.
Salad Dazed has a friend of the show, Salad Dazed. Love what you're doing out there, Salad Dazed. They have a picture of a person wearing a driver's cap, like an Irish driver's cap. And it says, guys wearing this hat have a 125% chance of referring to movies as films. And I want to go on record of saying I have this exact hat, and they are fucking called films. This is Trey James. Trey James has a picture. What is this man's name? He's Kim Kardashian's boyfriend. Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson.
Oh no. Oh God.
It's a picture of Pete Davidson with his shirt off and all of his tattoos all over the place, and Trey James says, "The desk in the detention camp." The fear of going out. Josh Gondelman has says, okay, the problem I have with talking about my feelings is that afterwards they still exist, but also other people know about them now. This can't be right. I feel that deeply. This is a picture of a goldfish that looks sad and it just says no bitches. That's it. This is a picture of Little Caesars pizza in the Little Caesars font, and it says bitches be like, Little Caesars is nasty. My sister in Christ, the pizza is hot and ready and it only costs $5. I like the upgrade. This person gets upgraded from bitches to my sister in Christ. Opinion from Michelle Goldberg is we should all know less about each other.
Yeah.
Word.
That was my favorite headline. We should all know less about each other. These the memes has they have in quotes here. We consulted with the public on this policy, and then it shows who they consulted with, and it's just 4 pictures of old white men, and the first one is Kevin Boomer Gallant, and Howard Tipton, who is a pay raise opponent, and then Anthony Moliner, who is a stock dealer, and then John Connolly, former millionaire. Charlie at Chunk Barty says, putting soup in a square Tupperware, it's just not right. It should be a circle one, which is the shape of soup. I cannot explain this, but soup does not belong in a square container. It is fucking weird. This picture made me think of all my good friends, Eric and George, who are constantly in Facebook jail. And this is a scene from Star Trek where Spock is on one side of the glass and Captain Kirk is on the other side of the glass, and Spock has his split finger greeting pressed against the glass, and they're looking forlorn at each other. And it says, when you're in Facebook jail, but you can still use Messenger. And my last meme for this round is a picture of a dinosaur on a surfboard paddleboard thing, and it says, when you overslept and you can't find Noah.
Nice.
That's not how the dinosaurs died. For the record. I hate to fact check the meme, but
Right on.
I feel it's my duty as a minister to be on the right side of this one.
Nice. So
Back to you, Eric.
thanks so much, my brother. Gonna go right back into it with some tribal humor. This picture from Vermin Supreme, who posts, your vibe attracts your tribe. And then it says, my tribe. And this woman is talking to Bigfoot with 5 aliens. One of them appears to be some kind of zombie ghost. Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Zombie ghost is a weird idea.
My tribe.
Yeah.
Well, until now, the idea of Bigfoot and Mothman hanging out, I was like, wow, and like, look at the little fairy guy down here. He's like, it got wings.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I fully believe in 4 of the things in this picture. No kidding.
Ooh. Oh, well, I think we need an after party discussion about that. Let's wrap this show.
5. I just saw another. I believe in all these.
Wow. All right, moving on. Gonna wrap this up quick. I only got about maybe 6 for this segment then. This one is a conversation that says, why'd my dad say this? Fun fact, Scooby-Doo came out today 50 years ago. Dad says, he's gay? Might be my favorite of the week right there. This is just me and Ro going for some cheap Oz, because Ro came to our show from this kitchen, and then I got to be in it. It was really meta, and it was super fun, and I had such a good time. All right. This next one's a New Yorker cartoon with a dad, and he's got a bowl of food. He's feeding his kid in the high chair, and he says, after I introduce you to solids, I'm going to need you to help with some computer stuff. This next one is River_Tam at River Tam YDN says, I apologize for the thoughts in my head. We have here a Venn diagram that starts off with Vladimir Putin and also has Will Smith and Batman. Vladimir and Will overlap. It came to prominence via top secret intelligence service. And then Vlad and Batman rules through fear. And in the middle, all three attacked a comedian. And Batman and Will Smith, nah. I think that might be my favorite. This last one is just a little several panel in a row and just says things that do not continue to grow after death. Your fingernails, your hair. Contrary to popular belief, hair and nails don't keep growing. As time passes, your skin loses moisture and shrinks around the roots of these, giving the appearance of growth instead. Things that do continue to grow after death, your contempt for the living. Nice skin, asshole. You make that yourself? Real fucking original. And last but not least, we have a 50s housewife, very glamorous in her heels. And she's saying, sometimes I wrestle with my demons, and sometimes we just snuggle.
Love a good demon snuggle.
Indeed.
All right, all we have left is the post with the most.
Yes.
My post with the most this week. Not this one. It was this one. It just says, thanks for your letter inviting me to join the Committee of the Arts and Sciences for Eisenhower. I must decline for secret reasons. And this is a real letter from E.B. White.
Oh.
Letter to J. Donald Adams, 28 September 1956. No bullshit. This is from Letters of Note. Friend of the show, Letters of Note. It is a fascinating website. I highly recommend you follow it. But yeah, one more time. Thanks for your letter inviting me to join the Committee of Arts and Sciences for Eisenhower. I must decline for secret reasons. The world may never know.
Nice. All right. One of my posts with the most that I think you all should know about, and I can't help it, but it's wholesome. You should definitely look this up. Archives for the Win.
Oh,
yes. Prince at age 11 from your town there, Michael, from film footage
right up here.
Age 11, archival footage, 1970s Minneapolis. And I would strongly suggest checking that out because it is awesome. And that, I believe, concludes an episode of Facebook for the Blind.
Woo!
Yay.
4th, 2022. Do the thing.
Love you, George. I always say it before I hang up.